Hey guys, it's Retro Nerd Girl. I'm sorry, I had the mute button on. I am off camera today, having some interference, and also I'm exhausted. I just came from work, and I'm delirious and just completely out of it. But you know what's not out of it? The recording I did with Mama Bear Art Doll for Gargoyles Week 19. We really went into this episode, these three episodes, um, and and um, and took it apart. And I hope you guys will like this. Before I get to that, I just wanted to acknowledge the comments. Who's in the comments section today? We've got Grumpy Old Ninja was here. Probably gonna come back. Oh, it says, in the meantime, smash that like. Get ready for blast off, everybody. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Kimberly Ann Hart is here. How are you? How are you? And we've got Moonbeam is also here. How are you, Moonbeam? Let's see. Um, And yep, that's I got another person in the I think we're all settled here for who's in the chat. And there was a few more in the um that didn't show up, but um I hope that you guys will like this one. I'm gonna start playing. I'm gonna play in a few moments. I'm gonna do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi guys, we're back with another look at the Gargoyles franchise, or well, the Gargoyles TV show. We're on season 3, episode 4 now. Just before we get started with our group of episodes, however, do you have any thoughts on the 3 episodes that we just watched or that we are going to review?
We really, because we made guesses last week as to what these were going to be, and it threw both of us for a loop. I liked the third one. It wasn't what I was expecting initially, but the story itself was very sweet, and of course the Bronx-centered one. I think that's the only one we got relatively close on.
Yeah.
But it's Bronx, so of course, anything with the doggo, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I'm looking at these 3 as a group, I'm definitely feeling the loss of something and some changes, like small changes, music, animation, and voice acting. Those 3 things are just somewhat different. And there are a couple moments for Xanatos where I'm like, they could have gotten another take of that. It just sounds like he's reading, So, and maybe it could have been like scheduling. They probably said, hey, just read these lines and we'll record you. I'm not sure. I'm imagining, but there's something quite not up to the same quality. The writing itself has differed, and when we get to certain things, I'll point them out. But let's get into the actual ones, and then I'll make comments as we go, because definitely I'm starting to feel like things are changing. It's not terrible though. It's not terrible. It's I think they're struggling a little bit here, but still they're doing a great job of mimicking what was done. Broadway goes to Hollywood. It starts off with Goliath's monologue, and he talks about fame, how gargoyles also have the same desires as humans, that we, gargoyles want fame too.
Well, they're so much that they're not without the faulties that can happen with the draw of fame. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do love the monologues at the beginning.
Yes.
It's something that I would not have been opposed if it had been throughout the entire series. This is one of the changes that I really do enjoy.
Yes, yes. I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's similar to a Previously On, like we had
Mhm.
with the it's similar to it, but I think the two could have gone hand in hand really nicely because it seems we've misplaced that Previously On, which was one of those beloved things
Yes.
that didn't happen all of the time, but it was nice, a nice refresher when it came up.
It was a pattern
Mhm.
and a routine that you kind of got used to, as well as just getting that visual
Reminder,
confirmation or,
you know?
yeah, memory. It jogged your memory a little bit about what you were going to see and how it was going to relate to each other.
Yeah, and conversely, the Previously On refresher would also help understand how this ties in with the broader story.
Yes.
Because this
Yes.
one definitely feels very connected to the last one,
Mhm.
where there is still a lot of public animosity towards the gargoyles.
Yes, yes. And by the way, the last three I thought were really good.
Mm.
Fox and Xanatos are being attacked by people who know that they are connected to the gargoyles because of the last
Mhm.
episode. There was a clear connection between the gargoyles and Xanatos.
And this is what Xanatos was worried about,
Mhm.
when it came to giving into the demands from the kidnapper or whatever, which turned out to be the politician, which is
Yes.
why I'm struggling with which description to use.
Yeah, yeah. He did say that this is something he was worried about, and
Mm.
Fox is very much of the mindset of wanting to fix this problem because it's getting ridiculous. They could have died in that.
This crowd is literally flipping over their limousine.
I mean, if it wasn't decorated with so many gadgets.
He's got more gadgets than Batman.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on here? They would really be in a lot of trouble. No cops around anywhere. It's scary, and thank goodness they didn't have the baby with them. So Fox is like, okay, we have to do something about this, and we can tell right away she's coming up with
She,
some kind of
yeah,
plan.
she's got wheels turning.
Yeah, and yes, so she's going to do something about this. Meanwhile, Broadway has sort of a noir detective movie playing on television as he puts on a little costume, a little trench coat, a little hat, leaves a note for Goliath before leaving, and meets up with some guys, put him on the back of a truck, which I was like, this doesn't seem right. But he's doing all of this willingly. So it
Mhm.
was kind of like perplexing me. Did you have any ideas what kind of deal that he might have made or?
Not really. I admit I got a little nostalgic seeing him in the detective noir getup.
Yes, yes, yes,
He
yes. I see, because
I
when I
was
saw,
hoping that would play more into the episode
me
than it did,
too. Yeah.
because that's the Broadway that we fell in love with, and I'm still struggling with this version.
Yes, there's a clear difference of Broadway and there's a few moments where you kind of see him as a
Mhm.
character that is reflective of him prior, but I too wanted to see this play out as like, oh, is he going to go on a little adventure,
Yeah.
and is he going to be doing a little detective work on the streets? But that actually was not the case. um Now, all the gargoyles assemble by dawn, but notices that Broadway is gone, and left to note the gargoyles turn to stone before they even get to let us know what happened. Which is like I noticed, like the new kind of thing is to kind of leave the audience waiting in between things. But it turns out this is part of a scheme that Fox is cooking up, and she didn't really consult even Xanatos about this. And he was like, "Oh, I wish you had talked to me about this." She was like, "I've got this under control."
Yeah, the media is my specialty.
Yeah. Fox Media, yeah, her
Yeah,
company,
yeah,
and
Tech Media Studios.
yeah, Media Studios, and Broadway is flying out to Hollywood everybody's reading the note and they're all really upset, but Angela in particular is pissed. All right, she's really pissed. He's actually going to fly out there to do an interview with somebody by the name of Shanna Coyle, who is like a celebrity interviewer, and pretty much everybody has got a bad feeling about this. I mean, this is one of those things where, but in particular, Angela is disappointed and angry Broadway for not even mentioning it to her.
Yeah.
And that seems like something he should have done. Anyway, the plane, they're about to land at LAX, but they can't because a small plane is going to crash. And immediately when I saw that, I was like, I know what this is. And Broadway leaves the plane and saves the couple that's on the plane before it explodes. And this was part of Fox's plan to improve the gargoyles' images in the public. Conveniently, just so conveniently, reporters are on the scene to catch everything, and they are set up by Pack Media, and the couple are set up by them too because they're paid off, and so and we know because they give
we don't
Fox
catch
a secret.
that initially. Yeah, we don't catch that initially. Like this couple plays it off really well, and she's like, "I don't care what you are, you're my hero," and kisses him on the cheek with like the media all around. It's fantastic. It's not until they pull away that we see them giving Fox a subtle thumbs up.
Yeah, a little nod, a little wave. Yeah, and I was like, huh.
Like,
No,
okay, this wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah, too convenient. It just so happens in the area, one of Fox's men talked to Hyena and Jackal, who plans to encounter Broadway. Fox's employee is annoyed at Broadway's diva behavior already, and that's the main reason why he's selling him out. And it's true, he is changing of the way that he's talking to Angela. He talks
with Angela. Oh my God.
He just is clueless and unaware of how he's coming off to others, and he's obsessed with himself, and he doesn't know or even acknowledge how he abandoned the clan. I'm sure, in his mind, he's also thinking about the clan. This will be great for the clan, but it feels more like his own desire to fulfill his own fame. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, these guys are working in the background. So here's one little incident that I thought, and they didn't actually say again.
The power lunch.
Yeah, they yeah. And I thought this was very interesting because they meet with some producers and they're talking about Broadway like he's not even there, like he's an object.
Like he's an animal, like some alien cat, That was actually words that was used. Oh no, we don't want to, make him too familiar, then people will start thinking he's normal. Isn't that kind of the idea?
Yeah. Like it sort of puts him in his place a little bit, but also it's kind of hard to hear that, that's what they think of him. And he's Broadway. We know him and we love him. And now he's kind of being treated like an object. And so, yeah, that was kind of disappointing. I was hoping that he was going to be more self-aware about it. And he does mention, that was right there. They didn't even talk to me.
Why did they talk about me? Why do they want me if they don't even like me? And Fox says, if I could answer that, I would own this city.
Yes. Yes, and so that was interesting. Now they didn't have to put that scene in the story, but
I do think it was important to have it in there because it does show how fake that part is.
Yeah.
Because it does come off the very public image that, people love him. No, they don't love him. He's the hot thing of the moment.
I think they could have gotten rid of it, but it was also helping to drive the idea home that this is not the place where you really belong. I think he gets it later. But
very shortly after this, they step out, and as they're having that conversation about, they really don't like me. Why do they want me around? And, we get a group of fans running up, and he's like, "Oh, these people respect me."
Oh, yes.
They tackle him and tear the trench coat to shreds, leaving him in just his normal gargoyle outfit.
Yes,
So
and I
he
wonder, I
grabs
think,
her, climbs up the wall, and she's like, "Yeah, we'll meet you at the." Calls the driver like, "We'll meet you at the hotel."
yeah, it's really crazy because he gets a taste of what fame is really like. Then the interview,
Was the first? It was tragic.
yeah, the interview with what's her name,
Shauna
Shanna. Yeah,
Shauna
she's.
Coyle,
I was liking her to a little bit to like the old school
Winnie
Oprah
Jones,
Winfrey.
and yeah, early Oprah, yeah.
Yeah. The interview occurs and Jackal and Hyena show up.
Honestly, was one of the few times I was actually happy they showed up. Because during that interview, like right before they show up, like, she's going, "Okay, so let's talk about your love life." Literally, the question he's like, "This is not what I signed up for."
Yeah. Yeah, that was a horrible interview. It was going very poorly. And I think it had to do somewhat with Shauna's questions because she really was a lot like those producers.
Yeah.
And so I think later on, it seems like she treats them more
I'm
like,
guessing Fox knocked her around or something.
yeah, it's like, okay, let's start over. Let's go do this again, but this time with more feeling.
Is this the equivalent of a teenager? Let's not ask that question.
Yeah, it's not appropriate. So yeah, they kidnap Broadway, which is a fantastic feat, but we have to remember these guys have been outfitted with a whole bunch of upgrades, and so they are truly scary and terrifying. I was like, don't chop them up into little pieces,
And
please.
it's clear they're hired by somebody else, and even Fox says that.
Yes, they're
Anything
mercenaries
for
for
a buck,
hire
right?
now.
She's
Yeah.
like, "Well, not all of us could have married a billionaire."
Yeah, that was personal.
Like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. You weren't interested in the billionaire. You were interested in his talking toaster.
Yeah. Be smarter about your choices. And Fox is like, okay, well, time for me to change into my cybernetic suit and take these fools to school. And
Yeah,
so she does.
yeah,
I
she
don't
put a
know.
tracker on a gift she gave Broadway just as they showed up.
Oh yeah, the
The
glasses.
glasses.
Yeah, it's like just so she could keep a track of him. She puts
Mm.
tracker on it. And he loves those glasses too. They're like, yeah, he was really feeling those glasses. And she goes looking for Broadway, and Jackal say that they are working for the Quarrymen,
Mm-hmm.
and they are to stage the destruction of a landmark and then blame it on Broadway. So they literally say that they're spreading hate. And in New York, Xanatos and Goliath are in the same position of waiting to hear what happens. They have to
They're both
trust.
frustrated because their loved ones
Yeah.
are 3,000 miles away, and there's nothing they can do.
Yeah. So they have to trust the process and wait and see what's going to happen. They have Broadway. They knock him out, and they have him like armed with like a blaster on his arm that they plan to
And
use.
in a jetpack, they like
Mhm.
treat him like a remote control drone.
Yes. So they have this blaster connected to him that they can remote control, and the jetpack. So it actually looks like he's flying when
Yeah, and that
he's.
he's going to attack like some LA beach landmark
Mhm.
to incite the hate and give an excuse for the quarrymen to go out that direction as well.
Yes. And basically, Fox shows up right on time and is able to disarm him. But some of the beach front does get destroyed, which is really like it's really pretty bad. But I was like, okay, well, maybe they fix everything up that might have happened off screen. But
Yeah, the
yeah,
fight scene wasn't as nice as the previous rounds.
yeah.
Felt a little phoned in.
Yeah, this is where, again, with the action in particular, not the same. as the stuff we saw in season 2. The choreography for it too not mapped out as well. So this was a lot of switching back and forth, and a lot of confusion and collateral damage, but no consequence for any of that stuff, and that's fine. They do get a chance to save the day and capture these guys. I'm not sure what they do with them afterwards, but they got a chance to redo the interview, which was really very important. And it was basically to gain some sympathy for the gargoyles and spread some goodwill among people. Let them know that, hey, gargoyles are cool. Broadway decides to come home. According to Fox, he was begging her to come home. And Goliath says perhaps giving Broadway what he wanted reminded him of what he needed. And so I thought that was a nice little summation there by Goliath. He always brings it home.
Yep. And we do end off with like he's trying to make it up to Angela, who's still irritated with him, rightfully so.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause he was not well behaved with her on the phone as he should have been. When you have 2 other guys waiting in the wings, I'm just saying.
I know. And so yes, he definitely says he wants to be with her, and she's really at this point very, very angry that
I'm still not down with this couple.
And he says, how long gonna take for you to forgive me, or is something like that. Yeah. And he says that he'll wait as long as it takes, but it's actually not very long at all, which is really sweet. And I think she really does care for him and really likes him. It's just, young love, realizing what's important, and communication in this particular case. He didn't do a lick of it with anybody. And that's a real problem just moving forward for the gargoyles. Like you've got to be able to trust that the people who you're with and is not going to just leave whenever something interesting happens. Like you got to be able to trust that they're going to be able. You've got somebody that's got your back if something goes down. And with him leaving like that, I mean, if I would be mad at him in general if I was in the clan, just as a clan member, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not even somebody that, had more than just clan member.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a relationship. And so, yeah, I mean, I think for the purpose of this story, this works, and everybody pretty much forgives him because it all turns out well. And it looks for a moment, looks like gargoyles are okay. But they're not. Spoiler, they're not okay. Bronx Tale of season 3, episode 5. Bronx Tale. Well, we're getting the idea that this must be about our boy Bronx, who we love. Any general thoughts about this particular episode?
Like going into it? Other than the title giving it away that, it was going to be a Bronx thing, which I was already down for.
Me too. I was like, yay, we get to hang out with Bronx again.
There's an episode centered around him is nice and refreshing, because you and I have both said he's like an underappreciated character.
Oh yeah. He really is, and I was I was expecting a little bit more. It starts off with Goliath's monologue. Humans love adventure, and sometimes people that we love are tortured by waiting for their return. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you said, those monologues, like, they're hitting the spot. It's like, wow, that's pretty cool. It almost reads like poetry. Very beautifully said. Just the way Keith David is.
Any chance for him to to get an added chance to speak. When these monologues feel almost separate from Goliath itself, which feels weird to say.
Yes.
But any chance for that for me is delightful.
It is really wonderful. I love those. He could just read off poetry.
He could read off the ingredients in a cereal box. I wouldn't care.
Me either. Me either. Yes,
that'd be fun. Frosted Flakes.
I can imagine it.
If you're listening, just
you like this, right? And that it is such a wonderful little addition that I do love. So we get this beginning. Lexington and Bronx are at a train station area or depot.
Yeah.
And then there are two guards that are firing on them. They don't say the setup for it at all, why they're firing at them or
why they're there from the first place.
Why they're there, right? And or why are they being seen? Why are they allowing themselves to be seen? And so all that was kind of a little bit frustrating because I was like, okay, well, what are they doing there? I don't know if they're in the right or in the wrong here. Bronx ends up on one of the cars trying to hide from the guard. Lexington tries to rescue him, all the while being shot at by the guards. It's really ramped up as far as the tension goes. And these guards, I was like, where did they train these guys? They're like really fierce.
Like what kind of weapons they have too, because it doesn't really register as like a regular gun,
No. It's like one of those laser things.
Look, that's what I got off. Like, why do these guys have laser guns?
It seems like ever since Dracon. Dracon unleashed all the laser guns, and so now everybody has laser guns. Ultimately, Lexington is not able to catch up with him, which is pretty sad because it is dawn, and like almost he was like holding on to the edge of the train at the top of the train, and he turns to stone. He slides off the train and falls into a river. I was like, wow, he's so lucky that was a river.
I breathed a sigh of relief when he hit through the ice into the river.
So scary, because if it was ground, he would have been destroyed. And also on the lake or river, there is a sheet of ice on there. So that's
apparently just thin enough to soften or whatever. This is one of those moments I'm looking past cartoon physics.
Yes. yes. And also we have Bronx inside the car also has turned to stone, and it's just going off somewhere, and we don't know where. So that's pretty scary. The whole event is just like one of the scariest things. Back at Castle Wavern in New York, Lisa is talking to Xanatos about it. They're planning on looking for them as well, but also there's sort of a confidence like, oh, they'll figure out their way back home as well. Also, in that scene in particular, Xanatos's voice was strange. It was not the same. So the only reason why I'm noticing that is because his voice is so distinctive.
It is.
And
also call into context whoever drew this. That's not Brooklyn. I get that's what they're going for, but
yeah. There's a lot of issues there with the artwork. Even Elisa is
she's not looking like Elisa.
She does not look like Elisa. Sometimes they don't have her coloring correctly. Like Xanatos is darker than her.
I think the two of them should have been reversed.
Yeah, they've got the coloring a little mixed up, and there's a lot to be said for the artwork. I mean, the artwork's good, but it's not matching
what it was.
Yeah, and if I'm not an expert at this stuff, but I notice it, and so if I notice it, that means you know, there's a definite different, and you don't want, I suppose, being an artist, you want to be a little bit different, but in this case, being
you do need to follow a continuity.
Yes, yes,
Like I said, that's not anyone from the clan.
Yeah. Yeah, the horns are in the wrong place, all sorts of things.
The beak is wrong.
Say that again?
I get that they were going for Brooklyn, but the beak is wrong.
Yeah, it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Oh man. And there's a little boy by the name of Matthew, and I don't tell you, I'm supposing that he's are they Amish, or they're just farmer
I'm not sure
people?
if it's Mennonite or Amish. There is a distinction between the two of them, and anyone who knows, please put it in the comments, because I will 100% admit I cannot keep it straight.
I did not know which one. They are on a horse and buggy, and they have a farm. This is the part that they're in the city area. The little boy has a comic book, and
the dad just is losing it as much as this culture does.
Yeah,
it's like this is not okay. This is outside stuff.
Yeah, and there seems to be a desire on the boy's part to a curiosity about the outside world. You can see the conflict there. And they go home. Let's see, at dusk, Bronx wakes up on the train, but he has a witness. There's a homeless drunk guy that sees him and flips out. But
it's a monster.
Yeah.
Of all the really, it's one of those things I would love to have a moment like that, because all these people looking at him going, "Oh my God, it's a monster." I know my reaction would be, "Aren't you just the cutest little thing?"
Yeah. Oh, we're like, okay, well, let's hope that you're a kind little guy. I
recognize that's how I will leave this world, of going to put something that I shouldn't.
Yeah, well, it's really you can't tell, right? You can't really tell, especially to be fair, but he's sort of the response of the world. When they see these gargoyles, they just don't know if they're going to hurt them or if they're going to be friendly. And then you've got jerks like Demona walking around, so you know you can't win. But Bronx manages to get away from that crazy man. Matthew is out and about, and I was trying to figure out, did he run away from home? It turns out, as we discover later, he likes going out for late night adventures.
Yeah, I got the initial impression that he had run away too. Whether it was not as crystal clear as it could have been.
Yes, it needed a few lines, or
because when he heard the wolves, he's like, "Oh well, I better be getting back. It's late." Lately, the moon's already up. The moon is clearly up.
Yeah. So that's when I was like, oh, so he likes. In fact, I didn't figure it out until later on that he likes going out for for late night adventures in the snow, and which is so cute, actually. And just so happens there's some howling, and of course there's wolves nearby, and they chase the heck out of him for a long time. I was like, when are they ever going to stop chasing him?
Yeah, good doggy.
Wonderful Bronx shows up and saves his butt. There's a part of the scene where it looks like Bronx is going to get overtaken by these wolves, but he's too fierce. But the only problem is that he does get hurt in the process.
Yeah, they hurt his paw.
Yeah. Oh, and so the boy decides to take him home, which is so cute and sweet. Because he's also like, okay, I don't know, should I be afraid or should I like you or what?
I mean, you did kind of save me from the wolves. So.
Yeah. When Goliath wakes up, he is pissed. Now let's look at, even the artwork here. You can see how different it is.
He looks goofy.
Yeah, it's just strange and different. I'm only mentioning this because it's hard to visually accept this new way of looking at the characters. It's jarring because we're used to what season 2 gave us visually, season 1 and 2. So seeing the characters like this is just kind of jarring. It's just a little jarring. So I'm like, I have to be like, okay, they're supposed to, this is the way they look like now. Okay. And Goliath says that he warned Lexington about his consistent exploring, which I didn't know about. I was like, oh, okay, when did this happen? Lexington shows up finally and explains what happened. Poor thing. He looks so sad and disappointed. But we also find out in that moment that Bronx likes trains. I didn't know that.
He's like, well, you know Bronx likes trains. No,
we didn't know that.
No, we didn't know that.
Yeah. It's like, you guys are just making up lore now, and that's cool, but we need to see the development of that, which is again a lot different from season 2, where you had like shadows of things before showing up later.
Yeah.
Because
stuff just coming out of the blue, in contrast.
Yeah, he likes Lexington likes exploring, and Bronx likes trains. Never knew this. And we've had other episodes with trains in it, and we've had other episodes where we had a chance to set that up in season 2, and that wasn't there. So this is very again jarring, another jarring thing that's going on. But I'll accept it. And it turns out that the train took Bronx to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There was an old man who witnessed Bronx, who has actually reported this to the authorities. So now everybody knows that there's a gargoyle in the area. Xanatos finds out about it, and so they are on their way over there. During the day, of course, Bronx turns into stone, but Matthew's taking care of him in the barn and everything. And he's like, oh no, what did I do wrong when he turns to stone? I was like, that's what I would have said.
He's so adorable.
Yeah, I totally would have said that. I would have been like, what did I do wrong? Oh no, is he okay? And I love the way he keeps checking up on Bronx, like just to make sure he's okay. And so I did like this kind of relationship with him. I wish this was something that was a little bit more meatier, that had more meat on its bones.
Yes.
Or was longer, or there was a reason why this was happening in the series, where Matthew was sort of a reoccurring kind of character. Some nasties show up. They're like the local. Say that again.
Rednecks. I call them rednecks. They have all the earmarks of it. Down even to the truck, and we're gonna smash it.
Yeah. They're really very nasty. They're rude and awful, and they actually assault Matthew's dad. But Matthew's dad is like, no, you're not going to search my barn for anything. I'm not going to let you just walk into my property and do this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, Matthew's dad's got some integrity. He's you can't just roll up in his place, okay? And so for whatever reason, and do you remember the reason why the nasties went away?
I really don't remember why, because the guy did. I hate saying it, but the nasty did come up with a good point. Like, what are you going to do? You guys don't believe in violence.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know what happened. I
don't remember why and I watched it not that long ago. Like,
yeah.
No, these episodes aren't sticking with me as much as the older ones. And yeah, I can't remember exactly why they went away, but I don't know, whisper in the wind or something. They decided to go elsewhere.
Oh, maybe it was a like a radio call or something.
Yeah.
It might have been. Yeah, but they leave. later on that night, Matt, he goes into the barn and he actually witnesses Bronx coming to life. And like everybody else who sees him come to life, he's like, wow. And he's like, yeah, come on, let's go on an adventure. It's a little bit hokey. He's like, at one point, he's like sliding on Bronx, and Bronx is like, huh? It was a little weird.
The Bronx toboggan, as fun as that looked, it did run a little long.
It ran a little long, and it was it was
like,
operating.
We're gonna have to hurry if we're gonna get to Manhattan before sunrise.
Yes. So he was so cute and cool. At one point, he was operating his feet as a steering. Just so weird. I was like, I don't know about this one. But yeah, these nasties show up again. I think they know that there is a bounty on getting a gargoyle, so they're really after it.
Which is the second time we've heard this. Because that was the same thing with the street kids.
Oh yes. Radar.
Thank you.
Radar.
I was gonna say Ryder, and I'm like, no, that's not it.
Yeah, Radar. He was trying to get that bounty. It's over $1 million.
Which at this point, I'm guessing is who's ever the head of the quarrymen.
Yeah, I think so too. Or I can't imagine it's Demona.
No, again, she wouldn't risk her daughter.
But my question is, where is Demona? Because this would be a perfect opportunity for her to be doing her,
This is like prime for Demona. Legit people who,
yeah,
exactly prove what she's been talking about for a century, for decades, centuries, whatever.
Yeah. Why is she completely silent? I don't know. They go after Matthew and Bronx, but they somehow, Bronx and Matthew end up at the icy river. Poor Bronx gets trapped in there. It's really going by. He like nearly dies in the thing until Goliath shows up.
Well, yeah, because one of the rednecks, I know you like calling them nasty, I'll call them what they are for me, actually calls highway patrol because they think the gargoyle has kidnapped the kid. And this is how Xanatos and them hears about it.
Yes. Because they tried engaging with them, but then they were like, screw, forget about this. And they called it in, which was exactly what they needed to do in order to save their lives, at least save Bronx's life. And so Goliath shows up. He's of course victorious, saves Bronx, and then they leave by helicopter with the help of Xanatos. They see Matthew on television, who talks to the news and tells his story about the gargoyles and how Bronx was, a nice monster. So that was the end of that story, which is I did love the relationship between Bronx and Matthew. I wanted that. That's something that should have been, I think, it should have been a slower story that maybe they had been, going back to every once in a while.
Something that needed to be fleshed out slightly differently. Like that toboggan scene was a little long. There was things that could have been trimmed out. I also would have liked somebody to explain how he got back home. Because they don't really, like, he goes from being this lake in the middle of nowhere to suddenly like being interviewed at his parents. And I was working on my hair at the time, so I was half watching it. So I missed that his parents were here until you actually pulled up this picture.
It is definitely a strange thing, and it looks like it's really cold out there and nobody's wearing any coats. But I digress. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to look for problems in this. I want to see.
It's hard not to look for problems, because they do make these plot holes and stuff very, I don't want to quite say glaring, but I don't have a better word.
Yeah. I think there's not a problem with this, uh, except for season 2 was outstanding.
Yeah.
And so when you have this outstanding series that it like over exceeds your expectations. Sure, there were small areas where there were problems, but nothing like as far as the writing is concerned, like the story was so good. And
Everything flowed so
yeah,
much.
yeah,
And
like
these feel disjointed in comparison.
yeah, like how does this have, except for the quarrymen, except for people going after the gargoyles, which is a storyline is starting to really wear on me, because I'm like, okay, how many now we've got 2 promotional things now with the gargoyles where everybody people are saying, hey, the gargoyles are cool.
Yeah, 2 promotional, possibly a 3rd one, because like I said, with when Lexington rescued Alex in front of that crowd.
Yes.
I'm hoping somebody was recording.
Well, there's
At the
that,
very
and
least, you have a whole bunch of witnesses that
yeah.
saw this. Like, why is this not getting anywhere?
Yeah, they've been saving people for the last year and a half or however long.
However
I think
long
this
it's
is
been.
about 2 years, right? And so they've been saving people. And so when are they going to come forward and speak? And it looked like Macbeth was doing something on there. And so I hope he comes back at some point during this. That would be really nice if he would help out, or somebody come in, help us out here. So we've got season 3, episode 6, The Dying of the Light. Now, I know the background of The Dying of the Light, but I'll let you tell us what you know about The Dying of the Light reference in this title.
The Dying of the Light is from a classic poem, which I really should have looked up before we started recording this. But it's referenced in a number of media, especially back in this area in the 90s. There was, particularly with a Batman the Animated Series, there was one actually that they referenced it as well. Because it's a tiger, tiger, burning bright. There's another line there that it's drawn a blank on it. And then the following line is, from The Dying of the Light. Which is why I initially thought that this was going to be centered around Elise's brother. Because of the tiger, tiger, burning bright.
Okay.
Being a cat reference.
Okay. Yeah.
They did take this, buddy, get your tail down. They did take this in a different but not unpleasant,
direction. Yeah.
Direction. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. This is in reference to a poem or a book by Dylan Thomas.
Thank you.
And it was published in 1951. And it starts off with, do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And it's really more to about sort of like being angry at getting older or dying. Resisting dying.
I might be confusing poems. I'm going to look that one up while we're talking.
Yeah. And so I think that's where it gets to be like kind of interesting, because it does relate to the story quite a bit. I was very shocked that they went for such a modern thing, because we were all into like we're like in Shakespeare land, and we're like Arthurian tales.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm mashing together poems in my head.
Oh yeah, I want to know what the other poem was.
It's by William The Tiger by William Blake.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Somehow I want to see that episode you're thinking of.
It would be good.
Yeah. So this really starts off with another one of Goliath's wonderful monologues, and he really talks about pride and
Yes.
that pride can be blind for man or gargoyle. And then he says that
Of all gargoyles, like, Hudson is one of the most proud.
yes,
Yeah.
which is like, okay, he says he's uncommonly proud.
Yes.
And I was like, do you think that's true, that he's really proud?
I don't know if he's uncommonly proud. I think for me, Hudson really gives me vibes of, you remember, have you seen The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen,
Oh
Alan
yeah,
Quartermain?
yeah.
He's very much like Alan Quartermain from that group, where he's like the old hunter, the old warrior that does have a pride that goes with it. Whether we haven't seen enough gargoyles to say yes, he is 100% uncommonly proud,
Yeah.
but there is a pride. There is certain pride in stuff that goes with old age that is hard to let go of.
Yeah. Because when I was watching that part, I was like, no, I know that Hudson's I think he's pretty proud, but yeah, as far as the fact that we have to be worried for him because he's
He's
uncommonly
not as
proud.
young. He's not as young of a gargoyle as he once was.
Yeah, yeah. But I also think that he has been very much somebody who's been very open about sharing power, knowledge, and things like that. If you're prideful, you may not be so free to share those things.
I think it's a different form of pride.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing that kind of stuff is, just sharing your knowledge base, looking out for others. But when it comes to admitting you need help, which is something we
Well,
have seen with Hudson in the past,
yeah.
like, he wasn't willing to admit he didn't know how to read, and
Yes.
perceived weaknesses. That's something that does very much take the pride side as that's more of a hindrance.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
do see that very strongly with Hudson.
I love that you mentioned that. I love that you mentioned that because that is
That's good. That's a, looking back at that we could have seen,
previously on little like, hey guys, remember the scene when and also like and I would call it more stubborn than anything.
Little from
But
calling
you're
me
right.
pride and stubborn are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, they are. I'm gonna say this. I really like this episode a lot.
I did too. This one, from what we've seen so far, was the closest callback to the previous series.
Yes.
Previous seasons. I liked this one so much. It was very well fleshed out. It was done very well.
Yes, and we like you said, it did have a lot of callbacks that we needed, and because that we were also missing.
It felt better put together too.
Yeah, like they actually were like, okay, remember that other episode? They actually went back to other episodes and actually thought about, okay, well, what happened then? And, well, what's Hudson's story? Like they actually went back for it. Like that whole malarkey with like, Lexington is interested in exploring and Bronx loving trains. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but you didn't. This
And
wasn't set up.
suddenly Angela is all over Broadway when previously she said she wanted to get to know them all first, and that all felt so out of blue, disjointed, versus this felt natural.
Yes. And this could have been the first episode, actually. I wouldn't mind if then they could have cooked with the other episodes, to be quite honest, because that's where I'm seeing a lot of the stuff that's just like, it's not cooked. And what's happening here is that Hudson is having recurring nightmares, and it is basically reliving the time when the archmage injured his eye. And when he wakes up, Goliath asks him if he's okay. He kind of snaps at him, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not Hudson. And it didn't make sense to me then, but it made sense to me a little bit later. I get it. You know what's happening in this scene. He just is protecting his space in a very like kind of stubborn way. Doesn't want anybody to know what's really going on with him. And even we don't know what's going on with him just yet, except for the nightmare. And we have some sympathy.
Know something's off beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've all woken up from a nightmare off on the wrong side of the bed.
Yes.
Like that alone is relatable.
Yeah. Now here we get this group called the People for Interspecies Tolerance, and they're having
so happy to see this group.
Say it again.
I was so happy to see this group.
Yeah. This was very nice. They were organizing. They were handing out pamphlets. They were doing their best to be good humans. And then we've got these jerks show up, the quarrymen, and they were watching them, and then they just burst into the room and destroy everything. And they even put people in the hospital. They attacked people, and so this is really horrible. And you know, they're really bad people. These aren't guys looking to keep the place, the city safe. These are guys who are looking to exact some violence on others.
Yeah, they don't like having an alternate voice out there.
Yeah. Very sad. Very sad. I'm actually like wary of these guys too. I'm just sort of tired of them. I just want them to go away. But they help in this particular episode to create some tension. And in this particular episode, I don't mind them. Hudson, actually, this is where we learn. That Hudson hasn't been able to see properly out of his good eye. And he's losing his vision, and he's too stubborn to admit it or even get help. He's just scared at this point. And I was like, oh my God, I can identify, you know, I got these glasses on.
I'm supposed to be wearing them too.
It's really as you get older, your eyes, do change. And so he's battling that as well as, like, he's getting older. It doesn't feel like the warrior he used to be. And he was at least had something, which was his vision from his good eye. And now that it's gone, he's in a place of vulnerability, but him not being able to communicate that with anybody or ask for help, because anytime anybody wants to give him help, he goes, no, I can do this myself. It's just sort of like,
and this is why I say, like, an older age pride thing too, because he's so used to being looked at like the mentor, the old, like, he was everybody's rock, essentially.
Yeah.
So for him to be willing to say, I am having this problem, is really hard for him, especially. And I think part of what drives it is, with him, he doesn't realize that there is something that can be done about this. Because when the time they're from,
yes,
eye care wasn't a thing.
You put some herbs on it, and maybe there might be, you just have herbs in your eye. But yeah, he's I felt really bad for him. Elisa responds to what's happened to the group and calls them the pit crew people from, which I thought was really cute. I was like, oh, she calls them the pit crew, and they got hurt and they're at the hospital, and Hudson wants to charge in there first. Like he's just like, revved up on anger, and Angelus and Elisa. Actually, they go alone to the hospital and get some answers, while I believe he goes to the place where they were having the meeting to do some investigating. But he really wants answers because one of the quarrymen got knocked out, and his boys left him there. He's actually at the hospital as well.
Yeah, like Hudson was ready to go. Okay, let's go cut the answers out of him. She's like, I'll go talk to him. No swords.
Yeah. Now, Elisa does not have like a large part to do in these 3 episodes, but I think they still like were able to find her voice and what little, like, she seems true to who she is. Goliath tries talking to Hudson and calls him old friend, and
Hudson's like, don't call me old.
I'm like, that's not what he means when he says old friend. My God.
I mean, respectfully, you kind of are.
And did you see how they animated Goliath's face after he said that? And he was like, what do I do with this man? It was really, really cool. I like that animation.
You trained me and got my daughter here, so you're kind of already in the grandfather role.
Oh man.
I do love this scene where Elisa's talking to him, and she's like, you did kind of piss off the gargoyles in this one, so you can talk to me, or maybe just wait around and for them to find you. And that cue Angela flying by the window, and the guy's like, I'll talk, give me a phone call.
Yeah. But I thought he was gonna call his lawyer, or he's calling.
That's what Lisa figured he was gonna do too. No,
he just called his boys.
Make sure we didn't leave any evidence.
And that's where we get into some trouble. Yeah, she tells him that he could get to up to 4 to 10 years, but it sounds better than what the gargoyles are going to do to him. And Angela actually goes to one of the pit crew people to one of their rooms and actually thanks them for what they're doing. It was really sweet. I was like, wow, that's actually a nice little touch that they added to kind of show, like, the gargoyles appreciate, these guys
which was actually something that they were hoping for. I just got a chuckle at this particular scene because I didn't catch it when I was watching it, but looking at it now, this particular shot where you got, they drew this woman dirty.
Yeah, what's going on there?
She looks like Joker.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah, but
great episode. But they drew this woman dirty in this scene.
Yeah, she does not look like a human being in the face. At the meeting place, Hudson is looking for clues, but he can't see anything, it's really bad. When the quarrymen show up, he thinks that they're part of the clan. He's like, hey guys. They're like, no, we're not your guys.
Did you find anything? Well, yeah, actually, we kind of did. Oh, come on.
Luckily, Broadway is close by and comes to the rescue. But they are really, they have to struggle for this because they're really under fire. But first, once they're done with the quarryman, they're successful with them. Broadway's like, okay, well, let me see if I can help you. But again,
get you back to the Erie, and he's like, I can get there myself.
Yeah, I'm like, Hudson, you gotta, you gotta ask for help. You gotta accept help when it's offered too. It's just because that proud warrior thing that is going on there. And Goliath actually explains this to the other gargoyles, like, hey, well, he'll be back when he's ready. That's like the third episode now. We're like, we'll wait for so and so to get it together and come back home. And so now it's dawn, and so everybody's turned to stone, but Hudson's out there somewhere. It turns out Hudson visits his old friend Jeffrey, the blind writer, and he figures out nearly immediately that not only is Hudson a gargoyle, but he's also going blind.
Apparently, he's known Hudson was a gargoyle for a while now.
Yeah.
Just as Hudson's going to leave, though, he's like, nobody can help me. And he's like, yeah, so you're going to tell them that you're going blind?
Yeah.
And he's like, how did you know? Legit, he said it just after I had the same thought.
Yeah.
And he's like, you barely saw the lemonade that was right in front of you until I turned the light on. I love Jeffrey.
Me too. He's just very resourceful.
He's that friend that Hudson needs outside of the clan.
And what a wonderful surprise that they brought him back, right? Like I love that at this point the writers are doing that with this character, that they're actually okay. So who's his friend? Oh yeah, there was a special relationship with him and Jeffrey, and bring that back into the fray. Really good. Very thoughtful, and again, for fans who have been watching this the whole time, this is great. We know Jeffrey, we know him.
And Jeffrey calls up, goes to call up this, optometrist that he knows. And he's like, yeah, I've got a big challenge for you. You're gonna love this. And Hudson's running over, going like, no.
And it turns out the doctor really wants to do this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're gonna love this. Yeah. He's a gargoyle. And Hudson's like, what? How did you know?
It's great. He said the smell of
leather and concrete.
Yeah. And it turns out that he's got glaucoma. She can operate on him immediately and give him some medication to help him out. When she said that, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, in that situation with the quarry people, I was literally, legitimately scared for him because he could not see them. And I was like, how do you expect to fight or protect if you can't see?
Yeah.
Also, maybe Jeffrey can show him the ways of, like, how, if your vision is impaired, how else can you get around and things like that. So I love that his friend was actually had some intel for him in that way. So yeah, I did love that. Even though he's like kicking and screaming pretty much the whole way, but once the surgeons, that lady came in and she was kind to him, and he was like, okay, well, let's do it. He was into it after that. And the surgery goes very well, but he's got to have bandages on, so he can't see anything at this point. And being a gargoyle has its advantages. I mean, look at how much bigger and stronger he is over all the puny human. But still, he has to take it easy.
It's about this point in time that the quarrymen show up to bust their buddy out.
Yes, but one of the other operatives that work at the hospital saw a gargoyle being taken to the eye clinic, and I was like, okay. And
it was one of those moments that I had to laugh, because I know it's like kind of a callback to the whole Illuminati thing. But he takes his work badge and he flips it over to show the quarryman symbol, and I'm like, really? Do you guys have
Yeah.
like stickers that you just put these onto the backs of, or
Yeah. I was
of
I was
all the
like, okay.
places for it to be the back of the work tag? Mhm.
Yeah. And so I was wondering too at that point, like if these guys were associated with the Illuminati, because they were mentioned earlier, in earlier episodes, and it would have been a good connective tissue tie-in.
That's not a connective tissue that I really expect to see, but it was just the parallels in how
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do it. Mind you,
Mhm.
the Illuminati always have it like better hidden than the back of a work tag.
No,
So
yeah, I mean, the quarrymen are to me like at this point annoying and kind of redundant because we already have people who are skeptical. To have this like completely psycho crazy group of people is like an extra, but I suppose they are a metaphor for like something in modern culture. And it
oh yeah.
again, and maybe they are supposed to be hated, but they are also annoying as well because I want to get to like juicy story lines. If there is going to be a bad guy, like I want to know why this is happening. If we're saying that the leader of the quarrymen has something against gargoyles, show me, tell
Mhm.
me,
Yeah, why?
yeah, like the hunter. I was like, okay, the hunter, he's got a
Hunter had a
great,
reason.
yeah,
Well, the
like,
first one.
yeah, the first one,
Gilgum
Gilgambane, and so did the three hunters from the last
Yeah, they had
three
a great
episodes.
reason.
Yeah, they have fantastic backstory and reason for doing this. I can't even remember his name, but the guy who's running the quarrymen,
There's got to
he.
be a better reason than
I hope they
just
tell us
sheer
some.
opportunity.
Yeah, because
Like,
it's now
I'm
getting.
bored. I've got a lot of money, and I want to destroy things. I
Yeah.
I need a better reason.
Yeah, and at this point, their actions are so extreme, and I would like to know why. Because otherwise they're now annoying. Like it's like a pest that keeps coming
Mhm.
by. Like, get away, get away. So yeah, the at the same time, which is really interesting, the quarrymen are busting their friend out of jail, and there's this huge like takeover of the hospital pretty much by the quarrymen, and
Mhm.
they go after the eye clinic where Hudson is like, I'm going to stay and fight.
Yep.
And they're like, it's
How are
kind of
you gonna
weird,
do
but
that? Well, first we're gonna level the playing field, and they
yes.
cut off all the lights, including the emergency backup ones.
Yes, which is actually was a kind of a cause like, okay, I could get
Mhm.
that. I like
I didn't know they could do that, but
this is some resourceful doctors.
yeah.
They know how to, take care of the electronics too. And, sure enough, they outsmart the bad guys. They get put away in jail. So,
The fight scene is still lacking
again, yes.
comparatively.
Yeah, the action is not as exciting as it used to be. So, it looks like they caught all 6 of the guys,
Mhm.
of the quarrymen. So they're off to jail, hopefully to do 4 to 10 as 10 years as Elisa promised.
Mhm.
Hudson, oh, look, this is such a cool moment. Hudson finally asks for help from his family at the end, and they fly home together. It's really such a sweet scene. I mean, I love Hudson, and he's just one of the sweetest characters. And so I was really glad to see this one. We got some good solo episodes from a lot of our favorite characters though so far, which I
Oh
did
yeah.
enjoy that we get these like a focus on them, which is really great. And Hudson is just fantastic. Any other words to add about this particular episode?
No, not really. I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's the addition of Jeffrey into this that just brought it back to the old season, the previous seasons,
Yes.
or what. This one felt better fleshed out than the rest.
Yes. It surprised me too.
A meteor story, something that you could actually sit back and enjoy, where some of the others felt very disjointed. This one, definitely my favorite of the group.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Jeffrey made it happen, I think. And they also captured Jeffrey's spirit too.
Yes.
Because
the old veteran, I just gotta love him.
Yeah. They captured the spirit instead of like, okay, this is Jeffrey Hudson's friend and not know anything about him. They really did do a little bit of homework on like trying to make sure that character was true to form. So I did love that. And this surprised me because the way it started, I was like, huh? And then it was like, oh, the reveal that he was going blind, and you were like,
yeah, and that didn't drag out too long. That was nice, because you and I have said this already a couple times, that some things drag out a little longer than they need to. That one, they got to the what's really going on fairly quickly.
Yeah, I like that. And there was some suspense, but not too much, and it was really great. So I love these guys. Well, guys, here's the homework for week 20, season 3. We've got episode 7, and Justice for All, episode 8, Genesis Undone, episode 9, Generations, and episode 10 for It May Come True. Yay! We are close to the end. 2 more sessions to go over, and this is going to be a wrap up for this week. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Later.
Oh, guys, that was great. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. That was such a great deep dive that we did. And as you're starting to see a little bit of some of the changes that's just subtly happening in season 2. I won't say everything about season 3. I won't say everything the complete feelings on season 3 until after they've all been aired, but we're gonna get really deep into that on our last episode, which is creeping up. But just so everybody has it, I just want to make sure that everybody has the homework again. That it gets on there like really fast. Let's see if I can get it in. They're having also some difficulties with the technical aspects here today. So that's the homework for next week, and our final episode will be, or the final week that we're going to review will be on the July 30th. So on July 30th, I'm going to see if we can get Mama Bear on here live. So we're going to show the episode, but then after that, we're going to talk about it and talk about some of the stuff. And we're working on some stuff behind the scenes too, with just like breaking down exactly what we kind of feel. I might actually think about even doing another episode after that, just to go over some questions and just some other little fun things about the show that's going on. So maybe a surprise or 2 for you guys. Yeah, let me see what else has been said. You guys have said some really awesome stuff in the comments. Let's see. The last episode that we just watched, that we just talked about, was so good. I think it's one of the best episodes besides the one with William Forsythe. Those 2 were really, really good. And I didn't mind Bronx Tale either. Let's see. And Moonbeam says, "What fun it would be to be live with Mama Bear." Yes, it would be so awesome. She is a delight. On Mondays, she's doing a show with the Kingdom of Nerds, and they're pretty cool. I don't ever get a chance to watch a lot of the stuff because I'm usually working when they're doing, but I watch some of the stuff afterwards. So I'm like, okay, looks really fun. And yeah, she's really, her schedule's really busy. So we'll try to lock her down for the 30th at least, so we can just have a nice little brief conversation about the just the entire series as a whole. um I think Kingdom of Nerds, I think it's called Kingdom of Nerds, or is it Nerd? I think it's Kingdom of Nerds, if I'm not mistaken. I always mix it up with something else. Let me find out. I'll find out the exact thing for you. um I believe it. That is it. Yeah, Kingdom of Nerds. Um, and I'll give you the link. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. There you go. That's the show that she's been working on. And I believe there may be some other stuff that she's going to be doing with some other individuals online that it'll be like a lot of fun to see. So I'll let her do the promoting for that stuff when we get to have her back on the channel. But yeah, she's getting really busy and doing a lot of cool stuff. So definitely follow her wherever she's doing her thing. And Kimberly says, "This was fun, Retro Nerd Girl. Thank you so much. It is definitely, this has been a joy. It's been long because after work, like I'm just like exhausted, but this definitely brings me back. I just wish I was better off today than I am." Grumpy says Mama Bear is genuinely a fun streamer. Yes, and she has so many like really awesome things to say. We just wish would like to have her come back as much as possible. I know it's not always easy, but we're gonna try. Grumpy says bless you. Grumpy says bless you. Everybody says bless you. Thank you so much, guys. You're so sweet. And Grumpy says, "Ah, cool. Check out the channel." It's actually a good like nerdy channel with lots of cool stuff, comic books, pop culture, everything they do. It's a lot of cool content out there, and maybe one day I'll get to promote everybody's content, um, because everybody's been so nice to me and have had me like visit their channels or have come here and supported. Just like like a little bit further up, who came by? We had the weekly wrap up here. Oh my god, that is such a cool channel. Love that channel so much. Um, just wonderful. Just some good people out there on the internet. Love um, hanging out with everybody. Josh was here. So good to see Josh. Let's see who else. Um, and our regulars are here. Of course, we got Kimberly, Moonbeam, Thomas. We got Grumpy in the house. Zeus is in the house. Anybody else came by? Zacharot 15 came by for a little bit. So, yeah, great to see everybody. Hope everyone's doing very well. And so I'm going to head out. The thing that last thing I want to do is just kind of go over what's happening this week. It's not a whole lot of stuff going on this week, but definitely look out for my community tab because I may be posting some stuff. Tomorrow, I will be posting new music over on the music channel that I have. Let's see if I can get a link for you for that. I'm really proud of that channel, to be very honest with you. It's brand new and something kind of started. Let me see if I can find it. Where is the link for my channel? There it is. It's so funny when you're looking for like things and you can't find them. Ah. Kimberly says gives Nerd Girl an allergy pill. Thank you. Oh, Dan Candy is here. It says hi kids, miss anything. Yeah, yes, we just went through all of for week 19 for with Mama Bear Art Doll, Gargoyles. And so next week we'll be doing more. We're on season 3 and almost done with the whole thing. But in the meantime, let me just put the music channels link in the, let's see, music channel and the music. The music that I have on this channel is like, I would say like dancey music, but it's also like geared towards people who like space. So everything is like in space. It's really positive. There's no breakup songs. There's no like, songs about hitting people or being mad at people. It's usually all like about love and about like happy times and dancing, and I'm just really enjoying doing all that stuff there. And it's also like related to here it is, related to pretty much some other things that I'm going to be doing. So I'm learning that so I can learn something else, because these are skills that I'll need to use for some upcoming projects. So everything is related, and I hope you guys will like it. Because it's really, really fun music. It's definitely club music. If you've been clubbing like since like the 90s to like the 2000s, yeah, you're gonna like this kind of music. It's definitely stuff that they would have played in a club. But it's also, like I said, no depressing music. Everything is really sweet. You might cry if you're sentimental. If you're extra sentimental, you might cry, but it's not meant to do anything like that. Uh, and Du says you would probably like the band Cannons. Okay, well, I'm gonna look for them and write that down. Um, Cannons. I'm gonna look for them. Okay. Yeah. And yes, Grumpy, nothing wrong with some good old good old upbeat techno. Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. Just something to like, get the music going and just keep the heart pumping and flowing, and next thing you know, you're dancing and you're like, what am I being like moving? Am I moving my body? It's kind of nice. So I'm gonna post um a new song tomorrow. I've been posting new songs Wednesdays and Fridays, and I don't have a whole lot that's in the public just yet. But if you go to the playlists are going to have more, and yeah, they're going to have more. They're not released yet. They're sort of like, if I would have had that channel as sort of um like a membership channel, that playlist would be like the membership playlist. So until I don't have memberships yet on that channel, so until I get memberships, that's my secret um thing, is that if you go to the playlist, you can hear, like, right now I've got about 24 songs, I believe, 22 or 24, maybe more. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's a little bit there. All right, and so Kimberly mentions, yes, a Galaxy Quest 1999 watch party with Retro Nerd. That is happening this Saturday. Guys, I hope you have a copy of Galaxy Quest handy so we can watch that together. But that's jumping ahead just a little bit, because on Thursday, so Wednesday, tomorrow, I'll be debuting the music. But on Thursday, I'm actually going to be debuting one of our secret member videos and making that public. So that's going to be available for people. And behind the scenes, I'm actually working on another, on reviewing quite a few movies for you guys, for members. Then Friday, I'm gonna post a new song as well. So, just to let you guys know what songs I'm gonna be posting. The one I'm posting on Wednesday is gonna be Through the Cosmic Haze. Through the Cosmic Haze on Wednesday. On Friday, the song will be Love is the Answer. Love is the Answer. I love these. These are great songs. I love them. I'm just dancing. I mean, they're like my favorite songs now. Then, of course, on Saturday we have the Galaxy Quest watch party. Lorena Creel is taking a break this week. She has some things that she needs to do with family, fun times in the summertime. And I hope she enjoys herself and has a blast. Next week, though, we're going to convene again with Lorena Creel for an epic weekend. It's going to be fantastic. And I believe it is Back to the Future that we're going to be watching with Lorena Creel. But before then, on my live stream next week, on the 27th, we'll be watching Young Sherlock Holmes 1985. I've been wanting to watch that for a long time with you guys. It's one of my favorite movies that I used to watch a lot with my mom. So we just love that movie, and it's a shame that it never really got the the notoriety it should have. I love that little movie. And it's a Steven Spielberg movie, which is very interesting because, again, it just never really got its flowers. So we'll be watching that on the 27th. A day after my birthday, I'm actually going to do a live on my birthday on August 2nd, but a day after my birthday, we're going to be watching Swamp Thing 1982. That's going to be fun. I love that movie. It's so silly, but also, just one of the incredible movies of 1982, special effects, and there were moments where it didn't look bad at all. It had its charm. There was charm to that movie. So I will be watching that together. The next one after that will be Red Sonja. It's that's another one. But I'm working my way to the 17th of August, where hopefully I can get Douglas A. Burton to come back before then. But we're definitely locked in place for The Wizard of Oz 1939 is it 1939? On the 7th of sorry, the 17th of August. So I believe that is the lineup for now. So I can't wait for all of those movies. Can't wait for all of those movies. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh my god. Yes, Kimberly says, and then time travel with Lorena Creole. Yes. And Grumpy says, soundtrack to Sonic 1 to 3 was life back then. I didn't even know Michael Jackson made most of it. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I had no idea. And Grumpy says, Galaxy Quest is required viewing, isn't it? If you're a nerd or you're a fandom lover, yeah, definitely. Galaxy Quest is our jam. And Justin is here. Hello, Justin says, hey, Retro, love your channel. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you were able to hang out with us today and just say hi. Let's see. Justin says, what's your favorite thing to watch on Disney Plus? On Disney Plus. I had fun watching Werewolf by Night. I love that movie. Oh, that was really good. What a treat. What a treat. And I didn't mind the Wanda show, at least the earlier episodes of Wanda Vision. I thought that was good in the earlier stages. And The Mandalorian. Yes, the first season and the second season for sure. Those were great. Those were great. And any of the classics too, any of the classics that, classic movies that are on there. Let's see. Movie says, okay, Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver on Saturday. That's right. And Justin says, have you talked to Dave Sundstrom? No. Should I? Is he okay? Because I know they had an event, Retropalooza on his channel, and it's in my queue to watch, so I have to watch it. And Justin says, just found your channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And let's see. And Grumpy says, Red Sonja needs a remake, but not this atmosphere, in this atmosphere. Yes, yes. It needs, I'm so glad you're talking about the atmosphere because it's just so strange to me. But yeah, the Red Sonja needs a remake so bad. And whoever's been trying to remake a Red Sonja for the last, I don't know, 15 years, the ideas have just been terrible, just terrible. So I thought they had something a long time ago when they had that one young lady, not her name, but she was tied to it for a long, long time, and then suddenly something weird happened, and she changed, and they changed. It was just so weird, but Red Sonja is one that I'm like, it was so funny because I was looking at some artwork and I was like, why can't this be live action? I was just thinking that the other day. Like, why can't we get a Red Sonja live action that looks like that? Like the movie Red Sonja, it's not Red Sonja at all. No. It doesn't even like resemble her at all. But it's fun. It's cute. You know. And Moonbeam is welcoming Justin to the channel. Thank you so much, Moonbeam. That is so sweet. Yes, you are much welcomed around these parts, Justin. and says that my favorite show in the 90s, Magic School Bus. And I don't remember The Wizard of Oz. Oh, well, definitely this is the perfect time to get some, film education and learn about The Wizard of Oz again. It's really a lot of fun. And oh yeah, with Doug, it's going to be even more fun because he's going to have so many little bits of information. I know pretty much all of it, but I love when Doug tells it because he just has so much energy and passion, and he just he is just wonderful. And let's see. And Justin says I was born in 1991. Oh, that's awesome. That's wonderful. Uh, And Kimberly says, I saw everything on Disney Plus. Oh, good, good, good. And Grumpy says, the easily of WandaVision were fun. The episodes of WandaVision were fun. Then the rest of Disney Marvel is downhill. Oh, okay. I think easily. Sorry. And one baby says, The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Oh, awesome. Judy Garland was Dorothy. Yes, she was. And Justin says, I love the Brady Bunch movie from the 90s. Me too. Really good. They really match the original 70s Brady Bunch so good. And it was fun. It was funny. Yeah, it was fun. It was a funny, both of the movies actually. There was two of them were really good. And the Addams Families too, movies. They were really good. And Grumpy says, Magic School Bus, it was great. Used to watch it before. Carmen Sandiego. Nice. All the classics. What, Moonbeam? There's an animated Red Sonja on Tubi? Oh my goodness. Is she wearing like a metal G-string? I don't know. Like I want to see if somebody try to pull that off. It's just really kind of a wild thing. You have got this lady with hardly any clothes on, and she's like killing people like left and right with her sword. I'm like, how is this possible? But I would like a good script could do it really some justice, I think. And Grumpy says Red Sonja is now at Embracer and still not being made. Ooh, every script sucks. Gosh, Grumpy, you know about this. Okay, good. Do you remember the girl that was originally signed up to do the live action? I'm trying to think of her. She was in that Robert Rodriguez movie and had like a machine gun for a leg, and she was gonna do it for a while, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be so good. She was in Charmed, and then for some reason after that it just seemed to fall apart. And yeah, I don't remember her name. Justin says I still watch TJ Hooker on Tubi and Roku channel from the 80s. Great cop show. Oh, so you're a lover of retro stuff. That is really cool. You're gonna fit right at home here. And Gummy says, "Oh, Ghost from Ant-Man and Wasp. Yeah, she's no Red Sonja. Oh, you mean that lady that? Yeah, I think she would be good in something else, but maybe not Red Sonja. I don't know why they picked her, but just doesn't have the Red Sonja look to me. And TJ Hooker is great. Oh yes, you meant early. Okay, I did translate that correctly. And this says I've seen the Nickelodeon documentary on Hulu. Oh, and 1991, the year I started high school. Wow. And Grumpy says, autocorrect is my natural predator. And Grumpy says, yeah, the Brady Bunch and Addams Family movies were awesome. Weren't they good? I was surprised. They were very good. Even and the Scooby-Doo movies too. Could just kind of lump them kind of all together as like movies. That actually didn't suck. Live action versions of things that didn't suck. Oh, that sounds like a nice little show there that I could do. Grumpy says Red Sonja was originally a pirate and then got put in Conan. Yes, I remember that. And since I saw the documentary too. And next comment, she was also the star of Killjoys for 3 seasons. And Justin says, do you have panels on your channel? I typically don't, and that is because it takes a little bit of skill that I don't have, but I do have some visitors every once in a while that come on. And let's see. And Grumpy says they picked her for DEI to show us Red Sonja was a sister, which she isn't. Oh, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I mean, because that was way before even all of this was going on. Rose McGowan was originally the one that was supposed to do Red Sonja, and I was like, oh, this is actually gonna be good. Because I think she looks like her, just need to, dye her hair red and she'll be fine. And it was kind of like a weird kind of thing that happened, and it just like simmered down, and it just her career changed, and so did the project kind of vanished. And Moonbeam says that the Brady Bunch movie 95, I think was Rose McGowan. Yes. And Moonbeam says it rings a bell. Can I be your guest on your channel, on your panel? Oh, do you have a subject matter that you wanted to talk about? I usually try to get somebody who is very knowledgeable about something to talk about, certain things, or there were specific things that you wanted to talk about. Why don't you send me an email? I do have my email in the description. So send me an email, let me know if you had an idea for a show you wanted to do, because I don't necessarily have that kind of thing. And also, if you have any other panels that you've been on, just send me the links for one of those, and I could see, if how things would go. I am a little strict on my channel. There's no no naughty words, and because I want the channel to be available for younger audiences to see, and people with families to be able to see, people to be able to check things out while they're at work, because it's just much easier to get more people to see stuff about the things that I'm talking about. I do want to have more people learn about films and things like that. So that's the crux of my. That's what I call it, is now my sacred fire. is definitely spreading the word about movies that would ultimately might die if we don't talk about them. And Grumpy says Rose was for a while before Killjoys, girl. Okay. And they picked someone who might be right, and the scripts kept getting worse. Yeah, yeah, and that's a problem, cause when they mentioned that other girl, I think everybody was like, "No, um, why would you do that?" But also, every single other actress they've mentioned, besides Rose, I think could have done it. Because there were some pictures that were done, to promote, like, her being the character, and they're online and everything you could see. But the other girls that they keep picking, I'm like, "You picked that girl? I don't think she's gonna be a great, um" you gotta pick somebody who is, like, spicy, but also fulfills the look of you need somebody with, like a rosy tone to their skin, but not like, not too rosy, but enough to look like they can pull off a good red-headed kind of flavor. Um, and you need somebody with a great body, and I hate to say that because we're now in an age where it's taboo to say stuff like that, but you need somebody with a great physique, and you need somebody who's athletic too. Very, very, very athletic. Because the stuff that she's gonna be doing is gonna be sick, and she's probably not gonna be wearing a lot of clothes doing it. So it's and don't for crying out loud give her an outfit that covers up everything, because that's not that's not Red Sonja. Okay? That's not Red Sonja. So yeah, and it seems weird, but that's not Red Sonja. That's not why people are excited about the character. They want to see that character as she's represented on in the comics. Let's see. And oh, Justin says I'm 33. You're old. Yes, of course you're old enough. And you can hang out with me. Yeah, just send me send me your information. I got right in the description is my email and stuff, and we'll talk and we'll see what we can do together. I'm looking for that, and also also too, watch party stuff too. I'm looking um, for that. Can you just leave you an email on your channel? I wouldn't do that because, that would send like robots going your way or people who are scammers going your way. Unless maybe if you're on X or something, you can DM me, but I think the email is right inside. Like if you go to the description of this video, right down there on the in the description, just scroll down and you'll find. I think you'll find my PO box and you'll find my email address. It's actually like spelled out like instead of just dot, it will be DOT. So you just have to translate it to what it's supposed to be, and then send me your email, um, and yeah. But you could also, if you're on X, you can also DM me. You could see. And Grumpy says Solomon Kane has the same problem as Red Sonja, except he got one good movie in 2001. Ever see it? No, I never saw that. Yeah, I never saw that. And Grumpy says, yes, the actress looked like the she-devil, someone who can challenge Conan and not going to be wearing much. Yes, yes, yes. And she can't really do wear a whole like a scuba suit or I didn't want to put her in like a jacket or a bodice. No, 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 no. That's not it. Don't put her in like, that kind of stuff. She has to be wearing like a a metal bikini, basically. You gotta that's what right exactly. Yeah. She has to look that way. Um and look, if you say later on, if you get a one good movie done right, fine. You want to make some changes. You want to give her a jacket or whatever, but just make the first movie right. Start off properly. Okay, Tubi. The Tubi one is Red Sonja, Queen of Plagues. Okay, okay. I gotta see this. And Moonby says, yeah, she is. Okay, great, great, great. Uh, and Grumpy says, like these people would have Melissa McCarthy from Before Bridesmaids playing Red Sonja because of the myth of the male gaze. Well, I mean, I don't mind her playing a part like Red Sonja, but not the Red Sonja. Like, you got like, I think for me, it's like, I don't care. Just like if you're going to say that you're going to give us Conan the Barbarian, don't give us a skinny guy. Like, like, don't like if you say if you said to me, okay, we're gonna give you like and unless something horrible happened to Conan where he got skinny, uh, that's where we go with that. You put it in the story, but we have to see the iconic character as the iconic character. If not, it's a parody, and that's something that we just you know either we like those characters or we don't, or we just have new characters. So just make new characters. I don't mind Melissa McCarthy, character that is in a bikini and she's like killing a whole bunch of people. I don't care. That actually sounds cool. Just, just make sure it's not supposed to be Red Sonja, unless it's a joke, unless it's a parody. And that's exactly what it would be. And Kimberly Hands says slaves lay a bikini. I think yeah, it's kind of like a well, kind of, but this is like chainmail. She's got like a chainmail bikini that's really really kind of cute. And 216, same year as our channels. Yes. Well, guys, I guess we've gone on about Red Sonja for long enough. Yes, and I'm looking forward to your email, Justin. Do send me that email. I'm looking forward to see. And if you have been on other channels and like just like send me a link, that kind of thing. And Grumpy says the sad part is that they would be serious. It would be a joke from modern Hollywood. Yeah. I mean, I think the problem is that they know that people are going to get upset and mad and start talking about it, and that actually gives them more clout. And I think it's time for people to start ignoring those projects if they're not interested in. Just ignore it, because that hurts so much more than like the way we've been pretty much handling it so far is basically giving them free publicity. Just like ignore it as if it doesn't even exist. And boy, does that hurt more. That hurts a lot more. And investors and stuff, they'll be like, oh yeah, nobody's talking about it. Oh, it'll change in a heartbeat. Because I think right now they're doing that because they know exactly what buttons to press and that people will respond. And so it's much better when you just don't respond to anything. I mean, I know it sounds wild. I mean, hold yourself back. But, and also I think it's time for us to get creative and do our own projects. You know, let's stop depending on Hollywood to make our stuff for us. Maybe we should just be doing everything independently from now on, since they won't listen, and spend our money with, you know, independent filmmakers that are doing creatively fun projects that we like, you know. Even though, like, yes, they have all the IPs and all that stuff. Eventually, if there's no money being spent on it, they're going to have to either sell those projects, or they're going to fail. They're going to make you know, they're going to go down. And somebody says it's closer to plate mail, like Tom Cruise in Legend. Well, I'm not sure what does that mean? Oh, like plate mail. Oh, you mean like chain mail? And instead of chain mail, plate mail. Yeah, it depends on her outfit, because some of her outfits look like just chain mail, but it's really cool. And yes, the Crumpy says exactly. Apathy is the best weapon against modern Hollywood. Yeah, it really is. I mean, there are a lot of projects that don't get any attention at all, and they're like it's like they never existed, and they just disappear. And that's what I don't want to happen to the really good things out there, like Scavenger's Reign. That's a good one, guys, that you need to check out on Netflix if you haven't seen it already. And of course, House of Dragons. More of us should be watching that show, because it's really, really good. It's really, really good. It's really, really good, I tell ya. All right, so guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna do a short exit this time. And I hope that I will see you later on in the week. Let me clean up things here. All right. Have a good night, guys.